Yes.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Tina. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Nicole. Alston. Oh, Jeannie's come.
Hey, everybody. So I'm going to say welcome to 5D All Day. I'm
Woohoo.
Danielle Kane, and I've been the host of this awesome little chat that we've had for about 2 years now. And I love that more and more people are coming in to like share their story. That's kind of what we do. We just kind of flow. I let this kind of go wherever it needs to go.
Mhm.
And we always leave feeling great. So I'm really excited to learn more about you, what brought you to Spirit Calling, and that's kind of how we get started. So we're just going to circle around and um, introduce ourselves briefly. So let's start off with Dina. Go ahead.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Glad to be here. I love 5D all day. We always have great discussions. I've been with Spirit Calling over a year and a half, I think, and working with Pamela and try to always make 5D because it's always fun and I never know where it's going to take us. So, and it's great to see a lot of new people on today.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you. Tina.
Sorry, I put myself on mute because just as I clicked on, the lawn people decided to go by. So
Where
it's
are you? Where do you
I'm in
live?
South Florida.
Oh, man.
Yes, I'm a little bit warmer than
Very
most of
nice.
you right now. And it's Tina Marie, and I'm Tina
Tina.
Marie Bueno, and I am a channel. I am
Mhm.
an integrated conscious channel. I also have other services that I offer, and I do channel. One of the groups that I channel is the New Earth High Council. And I felt like it would just be absolutely wonderful to sit in an environment with you and 5D in the presence of all of that and just hang out and play. I thought I would
Yes.
absolutely love that.
Oh,
I was
thank
glad
you.
that I had an opportunity to do it.
I
I'm
feel
so glad.
glad and honored that you're here. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, and Danielle, Tina Marie did a podcast and an Awakeners Hour with me and with Pamela on dreams. You may have missed that one.
I
And
was
then
on it. I
you
thought
were
that
on it.
was you.
Yeah. And
This is
so,
your
and
friend. This is who
yeah,
you guys
and
have connected.
Tina
We
and I
talked
have known
about
each
your
other.
dreams
Yeah,
last
we
month.
always talk about Tina, and Tina and I have worked together many, many times. And now Pamela is working with her. She and I, when I may do a little something together in kind of the galactic New Earth Council realm. So
Mm,
just I think it's good for her to see kind of how this flows too. So as we kind of craft ours, but she's amazing. So I'm glad
that's
you guys are all getting to meet her.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you again. And if you need to mute, if anyone needs to mute anytime, that's fine. And again, that you share as much as you want or as little as you want. We're just glad that we're here sharing this time
Hmm.
because it's just going to ripple, wherever it goes in a positive direction. So I love that. All right, my lovely Nicole Gibbs, go ahead.
All right. Um, like Tina, as soon as we push live, my dog started barking, so that's why I had to mute. That's so funny, but they stopped finally, thank goodness. So if they continue, I'm sorry. So I'm Nicole Gibbs. I've been with Spirit Calling for I think 2 years now also. I need to figure out the exact month so I can like celebrate that date. But I feel like it's been like 2 years, and I've been doing the sound healings every month, creating the sound healings for the community. I also create custom sound healings. I have awakening mass meditations, which, if some of you were there yesterday, we had our mass meditation for the community. So I also do monthly meditations on the 11th of every month. I've been doing that for over 8 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about how that's been going. So I'm really excited to bring more to the community with sound healing collaborations and just meditations. Anything like that is just right up my alley. Anything with frequencies and vibrations. I'm an EEG technologist, so I work with brain activities and reading brain waves and frequencies. And so everything about the brain and frequencies, all that is just my cup of tea. So I'm just so excited to share. If anyone has questions about that or curious, I'd be happy to talk with everybody. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here and a part of the community and see all these beautiful, lovely
Oh my
faces.
gosh, I'm so
So
psyched.
many people to know and get to know more. So yeah, I'm
Awesome.
excited to be here.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for being
Yeah.
here. So, Alston, you want to go next?
Sure.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yep, you got it right. And if you butcher it, it's fine too. I mean, that's just a label my mom gave me when I was born. Um, so I've been at Spirit Calling for less than a month, and just here to learn, to absorb more. I would say I'm awakened, but I'm not. Don't I'm still realizing my gifts. Been a long time meditation person, but now I'm trying to open up other channels of connection with the spirit world. So here to learn and absorb. And I live in Richmond, Virginia, so it's not as cold as other places.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Michael.
I'm on mute. Okay, I'll try to make this quick. Started meditating last year, started getting messages, dreams. Um, so I joined Spirit Calling in August, and I continue to work on my meditations. I continue to get synchronicities and new things happening all the time, and I just find that this community helps me keep me on the right path and to um, just makes me happy to share my stories with the group anyway. So that's it.
I love that. You and
Yeah.
Nicole too, and your synchronicities. I'm telling you,
It's
Well, we're
crazy.
both
not by
Queen of
accident.
Hearts. We're both Queen of
Everybody,
Hearts.
but
Yeah,
Yes, but you two in
we're
particular.
both we're both Leos and we're both Queen of Hearts.
Oh, really? Ooh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, Maddie, you're next.
Okay, can you give me a quick reminder of the just or let me just wing it.
Yeah, just
I
tell us
think
any little detail that you'd like to share.
okay.
Mhm.
My name is Madeline. You can call me Maddie. Um, I like to consider myself kind of like an OG of spirit calling. I was lucky to get on pretty close to the beginning. And I am so thankful and I'm so grateful that just something like this exists now for people who want to go down that path. And we act, I think so many people go down that path kind of alone for a long time and family and everybody thinks they're crazy and things like that. But now it's like we have a place where we can go crazy together and or we can just be ourselves and just encourage each other and discuss things and grow together and support each other. And I just think it's beautiful. And I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. We always love you here, by the way. You always have some amazing, I don't know, it's as you're natural and you have no, you know now, but I think in the beginning you didn't realize how much you sh had to offer to the community.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that.
Thank
Is
you.
it is it Jeannie? Okay. Welcome. Tell us a little bit
Uh,
about yourself, how you found Spirit Calling.
well, this is the first time I've been here on this, but I've been with Spirit Calling now for what, about 3 weeks, I think.
Wonderful.
And it was, I found her by watching her on Next Level Soul.
Cool.
So I connected with her, and I just feel like this is like such a awesome community. I'm an Ayurvedic doctor, and just, learning the spiritual gifts and trying to live life in a harmonious way and trying to teach others to do that as well.
That is so beautiful. It's so many amazing people just coming
Yeah,
together. That's what lights me up. So thank you
it's awesome.
for hearing that. Jason, yes, you're here.
He's back.
Welcome.
Jason's
I,
always in his car
I made it. Yeah, I'm always. I mean, I think
on
there's
the
been like
road.
two meetings that I haven't been in my car. So my name's Jason. I found Spirit Calling through TikTok. I saw Pamela on there doing a TikTok. That was back in July or August, I believe. And I kind of resonate like with what Michael and Maddie said. It's just a nice place to come here and be crazy together. and it's also just a nice place to come and share our stories with. And so that's one of the reasons I love it, is just being able to see other people's experiences, what they're going through. I'm still a baby at figuring this out. I feel like I've been on this journey for a lot longer than I ever realized, but it's just been fun seeing different synchronicities come online, different things happening in my life and being more aware of it. And yeah, so it's about it in a nutshell.
Wonderful. And you know, we all don't know. The more we think
Right,
we know, we don't know. So
right.
you're right on target, right? All right, Anne, welcome.
Thank you. I actually feel bad because I have a client call at 3:30, but I didn't want to miss at least connecting because I just want to be part of this group. I also found Pamela through Next Level Soul, so I've only been a member a few weeks as well, and looking for just a spiritual community that can support me on this journey. I know we're going through massive change and we continue to, and I was looking for a group of people, and I love this group also because I think it's something that I feel is still small and starting, and we're growing together, and it feels like a sacred space for me to be able to be a part of something that's growing and evolving as I am. So
Yes, right on. That's exactly it. Thank you so much for making it for the time that you could. I appreciate it and being able to be
sure.
heard. That's important.
Thank you.
Irene, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm new. I just signed up
Yes.
and I
Welcome.
found Pamela on Next Level Soul. And I connected with many of the things that she's been through and where she's been and where she is now. I would like to be where she is now. So I need to work on that.
Okay. Are you also someone tapping into channeling too, or?
I am. All right. I'm still kind of investigating my gifts and trying to realize my purpose. And I'm kind of at a dark level of the soul situation.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
sure what direction I need to go.
You're right on that breaking point of breaking through. So
thank you for.
I've been where you've been, and it's funny. Sometimes it cycles around, but in a different way, where you end up coming back again, to a place where what is next. So, but you're at a great place. So when you're supported and held, look at this community. Wow.
I think we've all been there, right? At some point.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Let's talk. I really want to know what's been going on with everybody because I know it's a new year, right? It's exciting that a lot of people resonated with Pamela through Next Level Soul. So I would love for anyone to kind of, Dina, you were there, you felt the energy. I see Pamela, I've known Pamela, so seeing her there and her being so authentic was great because she wasn't trying to be some seasoned person, right? She was genuine, and I loved that about her episode.
Yeah, she it was crazy. It was actually someone in the community sent something to Alex at Next Level Soul and said, "Hey, you should check out Pamela." And what was weird was, she and I traveled down there together, and he said, "Wow, you just popped up so quickly. Like it usually takes a lot of time." And we were like, we knew it was going to happen. Like it just was divine timing. So he was even surprised, but it was, she was nervous, of course. It was her first time, but he's so loving and grounding and just genuine. Him and his wife both were so amazing that when we got there, they calmed her down and we were calmed. And of course, we were carrying on as we went in. And then it just, after we had been channeling together, I knew the council was looking forward to this. She did. And I knew they were going to come in strong because we channeled in the room before we went, and we knew that they were excited. So we didn't know what was going to happen. And she went in and they started talking and they did the interview, which I love the fact that they told her story. It was her first time on. So he spent a lot of time on her story. There was a lot more channeling that happened. But he really spent time for people to get to know her story, which I think is really important because that's what people can connect to, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, let's bring in the council. And I'm in the room watching. They're in the studio and I'm in this room watching. And I'm sitting there and she's like, okay, I'm going to bring in the council. And they came in with, I mean, I'm sure you all heard how they came in so forcefully, like it kind of like threw her forward. They were so excited to be there. And then I was sitting there and I just was like, something's going to happen. Like I felt this zhuzh of energy. And then the next thing I know, all the screens went out. And he's like, hold on, this has never happened before. So he comes flying out and he's like, looks in, he's like, is your screen out? I'm like, my screen's out. He's like, everything's out, but it's still recording. He's like, this has never, ever happened. And I just started laughing because they had said they would make their presence known. And I guess that was their way. And then it just flowed from there. And I think he was taken aback too by the force and just the sheer love that comes through all the time with them. So it was beautiful. I'm sure she'll be back. We're heading out to Vegas for another podcast with a big guy coming up soon. So we're kind of getting in the routine of it, but the messages is just full of love and such guidance. And she also did a pre-channeled message for him in the community, which he was like, wow, no one's ever done that before. So it was really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, I watched. I thought it was great. I thought she did a great job. So I'm grateful for her because I know that this is bringing more and more people to finding the aligned beings that we are, so we can continue to find one another.
Exactly.
I would like to continue this channeling conversation a little bit, and I'm very curious if Nicole, and maybe, I don't know, I'm just throwing this out there to anyone who might be open to, but I know Brashard did this once, but with your EEG technology or whatever, when someone's channeling, I would really like to see the frequency that comes through during a channeled session. If that was something, if you would be open to it, obviously Pamela's not here, but Tina Marie, I don't know if you'd ever be open to something like that. But just to show people the shift of energy. Nicole, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny you say that because I've been wanting to get my own home EEG machine for like 4 or 5 years now and just do my own home tests on that because it is a given. I mean, Joe Dispenza has been doing that for a long time with his team. And I have articles linked on my website that just show like monks that will meditate for days at a time and they go into they produce these gamma frequencies that you can't even, they are so fast frequencies, you can't really produce that unless you use an artificial influence, let's say. And so to be able to see that on an EEG, that our brains are able to shift in and out of these frequencies just by our thought and intentions, the intention is really the key, is absolutely amazing. And to be able to see that scientifically is, I feel like a lot of people would be able to, because some people need to see a little bit more to have that click or aha moment to understand what's really happening. But yes, when we're going to sleep, when we're getting drowsy, when we're awake, any shift and change of awareness, you're going from delta to theta to alpha to beta to gamma. So it really is where you are in your thoughts in your mind. That's your frequency you're putting out. And so I think it would be amazing to see that on an EEG. If I could do that myself, it would be cool.
Yeah. Let's like manifest that somehow,
Right?
No,
please, let's do it. And then everyone will just do their own.
Well, that would be really cool to feature on Spirit Calling, wouldn't it? Like a gathering like that.
Yeah.
Like a before and after maybe to see the change. Yeah. I have a lot of ideas.
That would be really cool. I would love to see that, to be honest, but
absolutely.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
So Tina Marie, I want to ask you a little bit about, how did you tap into your gift of channeling? How old were you? Is it something that you were born with? Was this something that you really have continued to fine tune? Tell us a little bit about that.
So let's see. When I was a child, I was empathic. And I just knew before people would walk into the room what they were thinking, what they were feeling. And I didn't know that's what it was called. I had no idea anything. And very similar to Very similar to Pamela. I grew up in a pretty heavy duty drama trauma environment. And so I think is a kind of like a sort of protective mechanism, like things just kind of went down. And it wasn't that this was a topic that was taboo because I had no idea. I didn't even know what I was experiencing. But it wasn't until I was an adult. And all along, by the way, I would get some kind of impression. Something would just pop into my mind or something would come into my attention. And I wouldn't think twice about it because I just thought, oh, this is something that's coming into my awareness. And it was after I was an adult and pretty much living with all of the ideas of limitation that I had grown up with when I met a person. I was living in Japan at the time, and I met this guy who, and I didn't know it was called journeying or anything, but he had studied with the Huna Indians in Hawaii, but he was living in Japan. And he was Canadian, so there's a mix.
I love
And
it.
as somebody told me, go have a session with this guy. And so I did. And he said in the conversation, he said, your life is about to change dramatically. And I thought, oh, okay, whatever that meant. And I was living, I was living everything that I had prepared for, like in education wise. I had an MBA in international management, and I was in Japan, and I had my own business there with some other partners. And so I went through a session with him, and I journeyed for the first time. And I had no idea that that's what you call it, but I journeyed into other life timelines. And as I had my second session, no, it was my third session with him. I came to this point where in the session I had this image of me having a castle wall around me. And I wanted to go into the castle, and I went down below to the underground, and there was a capsule. And I opened up the capsule and I saw my heart. And I immediately put it in my chest. And when I did that, the walls crumbled. And from that moment on, and that was the experience during the session, from that moment on, my whole world blew up, like blew up. Everything that I believed to be true, everything I believed about myself just fell apart because it was all based on, dense limitations. And everything changed. A relationship ended, everything changed. And I will say that at that moment, then I began writing. And when I wrote, a journaling, and when I wrote both my dreams and oh, I forgot one important point, but I wrote my dreams, and then I would write down messages of this, and it would come through as a rhyme. And I would write it down, and I knew I was, just bringing through this information. Just put a pin on that for a moment. When I was living in Hawaii and I was in my 20s, I had a dream where I was awake, and at the end of my bed was this glowing, beautiful woman, and she was just floating there. And she was smiling at me, and without moving her hands, she would touch me, and she would move through me, and I just felt a little uncomfortable, even though it was really lovely. And I said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?" And she said, "I used to be you." And that had set me, yeah, and that had launched me into the dream exploration. So in other words, that was a message that came through in the dream. So I believe that messages started with the empathic side of me. And then I think it came through in my dreams because I was so shut down until I had this awakening. And let me tell you, it was not a fun ride. It was not a fun ride, and it was a long ride. It would really take me a couple decades to really move through it. But that's how information started to come in. And then there was a decade after that experience, all of a sudden, I was getting this nudge to really just kind of go out there and start channeling. And all of a sudden, things were coming in first as a clairaudient. And I asked about that later because I said, why clairaudient first? And they said, because you won't be able to stop and interpret what you're seeing, because your interpretation could vary in so many ways. It would be influenced. But if you just listened first, you can hear it, and then it'll come through, and you have to get out of your own way and you let it come through. So I was in corporate at that time in the United States, and I started to get people who knew me really well. And this was back in 2004 when it wasn't really popular to come out and do this stuff
Yeah.
yet.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I started to just listen and give messages to people who knew I wasn't insane, and and he was really willing to hear it. And then after that, then the visual came in, the Claire, and then the rest of the Claires came on board. But it was just this unfolding that every step of the way, if I trusted, it would show up. If I trusted and I allowed and I got out of my own way, it would show up.
I love it. Thank
That's
you
the
so
key.
much. And you know what I want to
Story.
say to everybody, like who is on their awakening journey, not everybody goes through this. And like you said, it's very hard. Like everybody's going to be presented with something, and it's usually some type of challenge from what I've experienced. I mean, what woke me up is I felt like I was at the bottom of, I couldn't continue on the life that I was living. So a lot of you have escaped something that was probably traumatic or just, not the type of lifestyle that your soul really was meant to continue living in. So that's where the journey starts for you, where some are just born with these gifts and they have no idea that they're there, and it just shows up for them that way. So thank you for explaining that. But I wanted to bring that up because I know that's been common among people that are I want to say just their consciousness has
Yeah.
tapped online, because we're all shifting to something. And I mean, when you really strip it down, it's basically going back inside anyway. It's that our exterior is just a reflection of what we're witnessing. If we truly are some type of a hologram, right? All of this is just here to guide us for whatever the soul is desiring. So I love it though. I'm always fascinated how people are able to go through these experiences, and if someone is going through that, they have a resource like Tina Marie to talk to.
Yes.
So thank you.
I
Tina's
wanted to
amazing.
add one quick thing. Like, I have not had dreams for 10, 15 years until I listened to that episode. I was on that episode and I did the stuff that you guys were recommending. So anybody that's new, it's in the pre-recordings. I forget what section that's in, but I started dreaming, and it's not consistent, but I started having dreams after following that process. It's been amazing.
Thank you for that. And I really wish I had really done more in there, because I think there was more to help people, but that could have helped people. But you do always dream. It's just that you don't remember that you've dreamt. And so you do. But now, if you're setting the intention, and thank you for saying that, now I think because of that, you are remembering them probably. Are you journaling? Good. Good for you.
Tina Marie, can I say something? I'm going to say something personal. Sometimes I don't want to write down when I'm dreaming because it's uncomfortable. I've had a few of those where I'm just like, okay, I'm good with that, not remembering. What do you think about that, if you don't mind giving some?
I think that's even a bigger call to actually journal.
I'm like, we'll just put that over there.
Yeah, exactly. But why is it? Because either one, you're going to dream it again, and so it's going to come back, or it's going to show up in a different way. And why not in the safety of the space where you're not, you know, fighting against it, where you can allow it to come through. And then if you write it down and you go through a process, then you'll probably get exactly what it's meant to show you, because it is a message without a doubt. That is the way that there's something that's asking for your attention, that's asking for your love, that really wants to come through. And, you know, even the darkest part of ourselves are not to be avoided. It's to be embraced. It's to be loved.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the encouragement. I
Sure.
appreciate it. I
Write it
figured
down,
that I had
Nicole.
to start doing that.
Danielle, write it down.
I know. I have a clairvoyant book that it was like and it was funny because I was thinking of my husband Brian, who like does this stuff so naturally. He's just a natural gifted person when he's not even trying. I did some hypnotherapy with him briefly, and like he went deep somnambulist, like doesn't recall anything, actually said something at the end of his session, not with me, but with another practitioner, where it was basically telling us there was going to be extreme turmoil. And this was pre-COVID, right? And then like we thought it was something internal with the family, like, oh no, the family's going to split up, and then boom, the whole world shut down. So it's quite fascinating. So when I'm reading this book, I'm like, oh, this is for you. And I'm thinking, no, this book is for me.
I had I got an app for, I think it was called Awoken with an O, but it was they had like little totem sounds that while you were sleeping would go off, kind of like if you remember the Inception, that movie. It's like to remind you or whatever to where you're at. But it would every morning then prompt you with you would just type it in your phone, just a little blurb what you remembered. And I would, again, it's when you're trying to wake up and recall, I'd remember maybe like 2 or 3 words or like a one visual or something. And I would just write those down as I went with this app. I had this app for I think 5 years, and I would hit or miss go in waves on using it. But when I would reflect back to previous years of the entries, they would have these weird similarities of like the lights patterns I would see in the sky, or like something with the ocean correlating, but it was like the same months that I would have those kinds of dreams. It was just really interesting to see those correlations with writing them in that app. So I haven't done that in a while, but talking about this is making me want to get back into all that because my dreams are so vivid right now. I'm always in a hub of like a train station, a plane, airport. I'm always like busy going. So I'm always like needing to know, where am I going? Because it ends there on my memory.
That's
It's
really
very
great.
interesting.
I mean, like that's and it actually asks you to prompts you to ask that question, where am I going? Like, how do I get there? Or what, you know, it's really prompting you to kind of go within on that. You know, just on a couple of different levels, actually.
So that's like, so you're saying, and I want Irene to answer respond. So you're saying, just for your expertise here in the dream world, that's a great way if you're seeking some answers to start with the journaling and keep looking back, would you say?
Absolutely. Start with the journaling. First of all, write it down as soon as you can. Say it out loud before you even get out of bed. Don't look at your phone. I mean, if you go to your app, that's a different kind of thing. But in general, you don't want to pick up something that will activate some other part of the brain. So you really want to just write if you can, and then go through a process of writing down whatever, you know, how you sometimes have dreams and it's like, well, you know, the thing that looked like that, and then it went over there, and then, you know, it all sounds bizarre. So, but it doesn't matter. Just write down that thing and that thing that went over there and write it down. And then you'll start. I love the fact that you brought up that then you started to see a pattern. And that really is what happens because your interpretation of your dreams is unique to you. And you're the one who builds up your own library of symbols, and they will come back in whenever, because they know it'll be recognized. Your subconscious will bring it back in, and then you'll start to feel like, wait, there's a message here, and starts becoming clearer, you know, over time. And everybody in the dream is representing an aspect of you. So no matter what they're doing, they're helping you along. But to me, it was the best way to start getting messages for channeling, as you were saying. Like people like to kind of brush it off, but don't.
Yeah.
It's important.
And we all do it, guys. So this is all something that's, a gift from God, right? This is what we're destined to have every night. So, you can always start anytime. Irene, please, do you want to share anything?
There's a lot of things going through my mind right now.
Okay. I thought your thing was trying to speak, so I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, I just I've had different experiences throughout my life where I'm normally a very quiet person.
Mm-hmm.
Time to time, something will come out, I don't know, it might be on in defense of someone or something. And I'll say, where in the world did that come from?
Mm.
I first was married many years ago. My husband said that I woke him up speaking in some strange tongue.
Mm.
It was interesting to me, but he couldn't define the ethnicity or anything like that. And I was adopted. And when I met my brother, he's about a year younger so than what I was. And he said he had a girlfriend. And when he was sleeping, she told him the same thing, that he was speaking in some tongue.
Wow.
So I thought, I don't know, it kind of ended there, but there's been different things that have, unexplained that have happened. So I guess I'm just here to learn and
That's pretty cool, though.
try to,
I love that.
yeah,
You guys probably contracted to come back again together, I mean,
That's
who knows if in
thinking.
another lifetime you were married or who knows, but this time you're brother or sister. So
we're definitely connected. And I didn't meet him till I was about 21. He was about 20. He just got Vietnam. But we were like connected and close, and so he's passed now, so more than what I do. So,
well, thank you for sharing that.
That's cool. That's really cool. I mean, it could have been from a past life or whatever, or could be light language, could be light language. Yeah, yeah.
what is light language? Is that
Light language is it's like you're tapping into the frequencies and vibrations, and it has a language of itself, the universe and the cosmos, and it's a language that many beings around for forever, that they tap into this frequency of energy that is literally light language because it comes from the source, and it's like you're just speaking through the frequencies of source. I mean, lots of what's the word I'm looking for? Different types of races of ETs and
beings,
benevolent beings. Yes, benevolent specifically. It's just within the DNA, and
it must be something. When I feel affirmations. Yeah. So when you were talking, Nicole, I could feel that that must be the case.
Yeah, it can just turn on, right?
Do you ever dream about your brother?
Not really.
No.
Tina Marie is saying you're going to dream about him. I already feel it. You're going to have a dream about him
It's
tonight.
going to happen.
I can feel it. Like that energy was like real strong right there.
Right?
That would be really cool. That would be really cool.
And just know that that's a visitation. He's coming to visit you in your dream.
Oh, you mean I'm feeling him again? So
yeah. Wow. I'm getting chills.
I get chills too. I think it's cool.
That's beautiful. I love how spirit can come in like that.
And ask him, if he does, ask him questions. I mean, whether it's another language from another country or light language. And light language could come on suddenly. I know for me, it came on. I was driving home from the grocery store, and all of a sudden, language just started coming out of me that I've never heard in my entire life. it's the most bizarre thing, and it'll come on sometimes if Pamela and I are channeling, and um, it's no one. My sister's the only one that's heard it. My husband heard it in the shower once, and he's like, "What were you singing in the shower?" And I'm like, "Oh, nothing, nothing at all."
It's funny
Let's
you
not
say
even
singing because it is like a song, and many of
Yes.
us, when we are just like singing or humming or whatever, we are tapping into that,
into that.
and we are allowing that frequency through our bodies. It's recalibrating us, our DNA, our cells, our everything is connected to that light. So
Yeah, it's
sometimes
so
we're
cool.
subconsciously doing it, whether we don't even know. Yeah.
I just wanted
True.
to say hi to, is it Tawny? Is that how you say your name?
Oh, hi, Tawny. I didn't,
Hi,
Yeah.
Tony. I didn't
can
see
you
you
Hi.
hear me?
join.
We were so deep
Hi,
into it. I want to
I'm
thank you
Ash.
for jumping in.
No,
Yeah.
this is my first time I'm on
Well,
video,
welcome.
but I'm actually out. So
That's okay.
it's kind of loud in here, but this is my first one and I'm just listening and just, I'm a beginner, so I don't know I'm just soaking it all in. So
Great.
I'm just
Just take it
listening
all
to
in.
you
That's
guys.
it. We're just going to start getting
So
the downloads and all sorts of
yeah,
stuff's going to happen. So just you keep doing this.
yeah, and I don't remember my dreams. I don't remember my dreams, so I'm just gonna start keeping a notebook by my bed and just whatever I remember, just start writing down. But I never remember them though.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Ask
set
to
the
remember,
intention to
Tony.
remember.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'll do that. I can do that. I'll
It
ask.
helps.
I
Okay,
find
Let's
that
sure
the
all
will.
people
tap
that
into
don't
the dream
remember,
world together.
what I found is the people that don't remember their dreams. So this is just me in my experience. When I was doing hypnotherapy, we were the ones that went the deepest
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
in that theta state.
Mhm.
So it's there
Yeah.
for sure.
I was
I'm
like you,
Tony,
Tony.
I'm so
I don't.
glad you brought all this up because you just created so much wonderful like the next steps for a lot of people that I don't want to say that you're a beginner because you're exactly where you need to be. Nobody is
Yeah. Okay.
advanced or anything. Everybody's experience is exactly where they need to be. And I just want to make sure that I reiterate that because I think some people get hesitant, like, oh, I'm not far enough or whatever. This is your journey.
Thank
But
you for saying that.
go ahead.
I'd really like to mention that actually you're already masters. You
Mhm.
don't know that. You haven't remembered that yet, but
Mhm.
you all came in, you chose to come in with your mastery, and it's only a journey of remembering.
Mhm.
So you might say that you're waking up because that's kind of what remembering feels like, is that you're waking up to something. But in truth, you're actually already masters. You like your resume, your cosmic resume to come here is so long and so big. And you came here really with that purpose and with the purpose of remembering so that you would feed that into the collective, and then the
Mm.
collective will actually start waking up with you. So you're masters already. And whatever you do, don't ever compare yourself to anybody else as far as how far along you are, because as everyone has already said, you're exactly where you're meant to be on your journey. And it's more meaningful for you to just like let yourself remember.
Experience. Yeah.
Pamela
So
just says
true.
hi to
Yeah,
everybody.
she does. Yeah, she said, "Tell everybody I said hi." I think she's in the car or
Hi,
something.
Pamela.
She's listening.
Yeah, she's listening. Very
So yeah,
exciting stuff.
I want to just mention, tagging on to that, if that's okay. So doing this, even showing up for this right
Mhm.
here, is allowing that more of a remembering to come online for
Mm.
your experience. So you may now even be more aware to just maybe someone's talking about dreams or something that we're talking about that is now kind of awakening for you, that you'll kind of tap into, and it will just bring more and more of just doors opening if you allow yourself to show up in those spaces instead of just kind of getting lost in the flow, which is the distractions of the world. But when you show up in these opportunities to connect or ways to learn and expand your remembering, it's always remembering, like we're saying,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like sometimes the aha moments are like, duh, why didn't I knew this all along? And then it's like this passion opens up that you knew you had this gift for, that you can now use it in this space, whatever it may be, it just is going to come full force once you allow it and you show up for yourself and give yourself the thanks and the gratitude for it is also really important. So I just wanted to make that key because it's coming now because you're here.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate you for saying that because it when you say instead of saying beginner, it takes that feeling off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that energy
yeah.
that's around it. So I could have my purpose for coming on is just to get that little nugget that you just gave me right now. So thank you because it helps me to look at it differently. But I'm excited. Thank you. I love listening.
Yeah.
Yes, you have great
And
energy.
and
You too.
Jeannie, we see this angelic look on you. You have this yeah, Alston was saying she does, and you do. You kind of have this like beautiful just presence of like light about you. I noticed
There's
that too.
beautiful light around.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It
Yeah.
looks
I
I
very
recognize a lot of you. I don't know how I know, but it's and this is the part where it's like when you start to meet with people, things just start to feel right. Like, how do I know this already? But I don't really know it, but I feel like it's good and it feels like something that resonates. And then that's like almost like for me, it's been like the truth, like the three waves of volunteers. When I heard that for the first time, I'm like,
yeah.
he was a volunteer.
Yeah, we've all been contracted
We've
likely
all
in our
been.
lives that know
And
each other
right.
already.
And I didn't even need to have to know much about that. And again, that's a book that was written about New Earth and the three ways of volunteers. And for some reason, I'm like, I knew I didn't want to leave the angelic realm, but I knew I was part of it. And I've had a lot of shamanic journeys where I've got to meet family for a hot second and get all teary-eyed. And they're like, you're meant to be here. Focus on being here. And so it's fun to reconnect with all family. I mean, I know we're all finding each other, and this is exciting.
It is.
And
It's
I
when
want
we
to
do
ask
the
you the same. Oh, I'm sorry.
okay. I was just gonna say when we do the weekly gatherings on Friday nights, it's people that have never met coming together, but yet the
We all
flow
met.
of conversation is so
Yeah.
effortless because, like you said, we've all probably met somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to ask you how you, Danielle, how you actually got into your channeling or how you moved into your forte,
I
your
would say, well, and I've kind of like explored what that purpose was because I think based on my design, I have to do everything.
Yeah.
So that's just part of who I am. And so I didn't have any kind of spiritual being about me, I would say. In 2017, I co-own a business with my husband. It's a fitness business. And we were really struggling, like really bad. And we got into another business that I intuitively knew wasn't going to go well, just could feel it in my being. And I was pregnant at the time, and all these things were coming online, and I couldn't explain it. And so my sister actually told me to connect with Dolores Cannon, and I just went online and went down a rabbit hole. And I was like, I need answers. I was drowning. I was like, please, somebody help me get out of what this is. And I had a session and I connected with spirit for the first time. I actually connected with someone that had crossed over, and it was like a full telepathic experience. And he said it was a person that had passed over, but basically saying, you're going to end this part of your life and you're going to enter a new part and you're going to be more youthful with your children. You need to have fun. You grew up too fast, all these things, right? And then I thought, should I be doing this? And so I started doing hypnosis, and I still love it, but part of it isn't necessarily the full journey for me, but it changed me completely. I mean, it was how my awakening journey started. So,
Yeah.
but I love podcast. To be honest, I think my purpose is really, I'm just supposed to be present. I'm supposed to hold
Hold
space.
space.
That's really what I think I'm supposed to do. I don't know if there's anything else grandiose. Sometimes we just have to be there. And that might
well,
just be my role.
and you do
That's
it
Which
one
well.
of
is
the
Oh,
my
You do
favorite
it
things
well.
I learned
thank
from
you.
Dolores Cannon. She said, like, if you feel like you're not meeting your mission or you have something to do, in fact, you're already doing it just by being, and
being.
take all that stress and pressure off. Just be,
Mhm.
and I always think of walking in tent. We're broadcasting everywhere, so we're just taking ourselves and just making everyone happy. Bing, 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 just turning
Yeah.
everybody's
It is
lights on.
exactly so cool.
So
Nicole,
that's
I have to tell you,
amazing
I
work.
love your sweatshirt. What is it? Highly
Oh, thank
meditated?
you.
I
Highly
completely
meditated.
think that is adorable.
Yes, this is on my website.
Is it on your site? Okay, good.
I made
I
it.
think
Yeah.
I love it. I want to get one. Um,
Thank you.
I think it's yeah, I think we're all, you don't always realize what you're putting out, even just by being who you are,
Yes.
as
Light
well. And I
beings.
think that's the thing. And one of the things that Pamela and I always said was, and you'll notice it even for everyone that's new, as you join this community, because of the energy and the flow, there is a up leveling that happens, and you will just feel it gradually, 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 because you're tapping in and you're keeping the energy flowing, and you're remembering, as Tina Marie said, like you're remembering. And it's just really cool. It just unfolds, like Nicole said, it unfolds.
Can I just make one comment? And I want to thank you, Tina Marie, because I think that like having these conversations, and I'm grateful for Pamela letting me have this space because I know she believed in me. She also felt that this was something, but it's almost these conversations imprint memories, and then it just starts to expand. And
Yeah.
these conversations are very meaningful, I think, to the collective and to myself. And so I think this is where I'm most natural. And I just am glad to have you all here.
It's very
Does
clear.
anyone?
And the truth of that is very clear.
It's pretty awesome too, because I was also into Dolores Cannon so much, and I've listened to every single one of her books.
Me too.
And I also went to a practitioner and did the past life regression, which was a whole different experience. And he gave me the recording and everything. And he said, "You went so deep, so fast." And it was, you brought in so much emotion. But the other thing, when we were just discussing about dreams, how the dreams have been so different. I mean, especially with the planetary alignment and everything in this last week.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
dreams have been really super weird. Like one thing will be one thing at this moment, and then it turns into something different the next. And like last night, I had this dream. It was just so weird that I have a new dog. Some of you have seen her, but so I was somewhere in this house, and I have two twin grandsons, but I was somewhere in this house. I don't know where the house was, who the people were, but we went into this room and it had blue paint and blue wallpaper, and I can even describe the wallpaper to a T. And my daughter said, "I don't like this wallpaper. It's just too much blue." And then the next thing I remember is I'm watching a baby or something. I'm not sure. It seemed like it was a baby, and I'm pretty sure it was. And then for some reason, I took it outside and put it in the front yard. And I don't know why I did that. And then I was going to go to the restroom, and then I remembered that I left it outside. And so I start running and at the time, my dog was laying right here with me. So I'm not sure if I was relating this baby to my dog or what was happening, but then I see these on the window, there's a curtain, and I see these two kids, and they're normal sized babies. I mean, and these are babies. But then I look back over there, and I said, "Come on, let's go." And these babies are sliding down the curtain, and they're about this big, sliding down the curtain it was just the weirdest dream that I've ever had.
Wow.
Just some really off the wall dreams here lately. And sometimes I
Literally.
can remember them when I first wake up. And if I don't write them down, then by the time the day is gone, it's like, okay, I can't even remember it now. But it's just weird how the dreams are coming to me, and how I put a baby outside and then started running to it and realized that it's a dog. And
Mm.
just, yeah, it's just kind of strange. But so relatable in all of these things that you guys are talking about, because I've been on my own personal journey to discover my gifts and do plant medicine and all this stuff just to, you know, get that
So
connection.
what I would suggest is write that down. And when you write it down, because it's a very powerful dream. And when you write it down, think about what it means for a baby, little tiny babies. What does that mean to you personally? What does that mean for you? And then kind of see what your actions are, kind of become aware of what the actions that you took were in the dreams. And then from there, like ask, yourself, just as you're sitting there and you're writing, ask yourself, what does this mean to me? And let that free flow. Just let it flow through your hand without even thinking about it. You reminded me that my dreams lately have been about being with a group of people, a lot of people, and just not people that I know very well, but I'm with people that I feel really good around, and somehow we're gathered together. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, just look at this screen.
Yes.
Right?
I'm so grateful. This was the biggest, I think, turnout that we've had. And wow, it was so powerful. We're already at 4 o'clock. I can't believe it.
It's crazy.
Oh my
I
goodness.
just
It's like
did
it didn't even
anyone
happen. It's like-
did anyone notice on Jeannie's screen her light fractal
Oh my
picture?
gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
I
that
was
was
just kind
crazy.
of riding in that fractal.
I
I
You
know.
were
was
like,
I almost
enjoying
took a
I
that.
took a
screenshot.
screenshot.
you
I
took a
took a
Yeah,
screenshot,
screenshot.
Michael? You
I
Yeah.
have to
almost
post
did.
it.
We're like
Post it on
mindset.
5D
Yeah.
all
It's funny.
day.
Oh,
Yes,
you had a
beautiful.
beautiful light fractal around you, and then as you finished talking, it kind of like subsided. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was for one, it was just amazing. It was like you were in a whole different place. That was great.
It's called being recorded, so you can watch it again.
You can, you're right. It is recorded. You can
Good.
see
Oh
this
yeah,
exact same thing again. Oh my
that
gosh,
was
this was
cool.
amazing. I'm just like now like Tina Marie, we got to have like a dream conversation, like weekly dream
Yeah,
conversations. What do we do? You
Anytime.
reminded me of a dream I had with like little kid. I had dreams of like not being around at all, like abandoning my young children. I had to have them over and over, and it was like they were there, and then I didn't see them until they were like 3 or 4. That was something that was reoccurring for many years,
Hmm.
and I never explored that, so I don't know what
yeah,
that means
interesting.
So you really would have to look at, what was going on in
going on
your
at that time.
that time also, right? So that's because that's a component to it.
Those are the things that I would avoid, because it scared me. Like, oh,
Right.
I can't be abandoning these young babies. Why wasn't I there?
Maybe
Right.
you were the abandoned baby in your last life.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
I loved it. Anybody else have any last minute thoughts that they wanted to say before we wrap up? Yes, Maddie.
I do. I've actually from the very beginning when Irene was introducing herself and talking a little bit, um, and I had this thing come into my mind about the quote that life is like a spiral, and you continuously keep coming back to things that you thought you understood, and you see deeper truths. And then I also had the thoughts about, people going through. I don't think that we have just one dark night of the soul. I think it's something that happens, at least in my experience. But you know, people going through that dark night of the soul, and people who consider themselves like beginners on the spiritual path, and it can be a lot of pain and confusion for like just holding on to old beliefs and just being confused about what's real and what's not real, and not knowing where to go, what to do, who to believe, what to trust. And then we can have periods of going back into like spaces like that a lot. And I felt like it would be very important to just say that I think somebody mentioned something like this, but like there is no like superiority of like somebody crossing the finish line into becoming spiritual, and then other people are just a beginner. It's like we're all blessed to have the human experience, and we're all one, and we're all family, and it's equal, there is no superiority, there's nothing like that. You know, we're all in this spiral together. And I think it's just really important to like remember that and to hold that connection and to have that understanding. And I feel like it's important for people in that dark space to know that you know, it's like there's shadow work and there's light work. And if you need to, you seek out that help from somebody who's in the light phase right now. Or, you got to have like a good balance of, it is very good to go within, but then sometimes it's very important to maybe ask for help or to join a community like this and to make sure that if you need a little bit of help with that, like imagine like the yin and yang symbol, the black and the white, and then the black and the white, like, gets like ask for help if you need it. And, you know, do your light work, do your shadow work, and it's all just, everything is just, equal. And lately, last thing I wanted to add is I've been contemplating what I believe, what helps me most in believing what God or source is. And I've been having a visual of like a very, very, very bright light, but that is, what's the word? Like, infinitely expanding every color, like imaginable, and like almost like a breath of like the light coming in and the light coming out, but like every color and everything in existence is what's it called? Just unconditionally loved and accepted and coming from that same place. And so I think it's just important for us to go easy on each other and ourselves when we need that.
Absolutely. I mean, we're all decided to come here as the collective, right? So I think that's important. And I think what you said and what Tina Marie said too, part of what we're going through is having beliefs that we let go, and that's where the expansion happens. When we try to hold so dearly to a belief, it has to be what it is. And then we realize that that's what's kind of holding us back, right? So I think it's beautiful to come with an open mind, and we're all navigating what is what. And I thank everybody for sharing such beautiful messages, and even in the chat. Thanks for using the chat. I loved what you guys had to say about the dreams, and I read quickly what you wrote about the babies, and that was beautiful. So I hate to say goodbye, guys, but I hope you come back and join us next month. We do this wait, let me just take a look, see what so we have the 28th, the last day of February, and we do it at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And so for anyone that's not part of Spirit Calling, that's watching outside, these are the conversations we have. And that we have them inside our community as well on Fridays, but that you can become a part of these conversations and also check out all the amazing things like what was it called, Tina Marie? The Dream State podcast, or not podcast, but
Oh, what
Reading
was the
Hour.
name of it?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't remember what we called it.
But you can see the replay. So anyone here, you can access all those replays. Nicole's had also, right? A replay of the meditations. Was it well, you have your
Yeah.
mass meditations every
I
month.
also just put on a chakra course too. If anyone's interested in beginning what even is chakras, I just put a course on there. I have an Awakening Hours replay, and all the sound healings from the past 2 years are on there too. So check out that tab as well for sound healings.
Yeah. So for, again, anyone watching, you can find this at spirit-calling.com for more information to give it a try if this is something that resonates with you. And I just want to thank everybody again for being a part of this. This has been a dream of mine. Nicole knows. I mean, Nicole and I met through similar Telegram conversations, and here now we get to have this beautiful space to do this. So I want to thank you all. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody.
Thank you so much. I
you.
appreciate you. Have a
Thank
lovely
you.
weekend. Thanks
Thank
Much
again.
love, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.